You don't have to write them in until I tell you to. Okay? Alright, so we're going to start off relatively pretty easy today. So, for example, if we have a problem like this, if we have 3 over 2 equals y plus 4 over 5. If I have a problem like this, so that you guys will start to see why we did a quiz like we did today. Because every one of these is going to go to a linear equation, meaning it's just going to be a one-line equation. But how do I solve this? Can someone raise their hand and tell me how to solve this? Nathan.
Can you just do like the cross
multiply?
Ilio?
Yep. So that's the way we're going to do this, is we're going to cross multiply this. So what we're going to have is we're going to have 2y plus 4 equals 5 times 3. So we get 2y plus 8 equals 15. And then as soon as we're there, we should all know how to do this, and we get y equals 7/2 as our solution, right? So all you're doing on these easier ones is you're basically just cross multiplying. So try this one on your own. 5 over 6 equals y plus 5 over 7. Try that one on your own. Cross multiply them, we'll see where we get to. Rational equations. How much water do you think this thing is?
Half a gallon. 32 ounces.
It says 1.5 liters. How many liters in a gallon?
2.
No.
8.
No way.
I think it's
There's not 8 of those in a gallon.
It's like 4.
one ball. There's 4
No.
quarts in a
On
gallon.
Is it 3?
Yeah, it's 4 in a gallon and 2 liters in a quart.
Yeah, that would no, there's 2 pints in a quart.
Quart.
There's 2 liters, there's 4 quarts.
Yeah, but a gallon.
How many liters in a gallon?
You have to remember the land of gallon.
3.79 liters. So roughly 2.5 of these is a gallon. Can I drink? It's a lot of water. Okay. There, shut your Chromebooks. You don't need them open, Carlisle.
Yeah.
You done, Coop?
I don't think I did it.
Okay, Jaden, how do we do it?
So, cross multiply.
Okay, so we're going to cross multiply.
You get 6y plus 30.
So 6 times y plus 5 equals 5 times 7, right?
Yeah.
So Jaden already did it. He said you're going to distribute. Stop talking. So now we're there, right? Now what, Jaden?
And then you just subtract the 30.
So y equals 5/6. Correct? Who got that one right? Raise your hand. Okay, we're going to get a little bit tougher, and then we're going to get to the harder stuff. But as you can see here, I'm going to go kind of quickly through this easier stuff because I think it's something we should all know how to do by now. If I have this, we treat it the exact same. Even though there's x's on the bottom of both of them, we still treat them the exact same. We're still going to cross multiply these. So we're going to cross multiply here and there. So we're going to have negative 30 times x minus 2 equals negative 40 times x. All right? Any questions on that? All we're doing is we're cross multiplying them again. This side we're going to distribute. Okay, and now if you notice here, this is just like a problem on your quiz today right here. The goal is to get the x's on one side. So I'm going to add 30x to both sides. And we're going to get 60 equals negative 10x, or x equals negative 6. Okay, questions on that one? All right, I'm going to have you guys try one on your own, just show that we can move on to the harder stuff, and then well, should we make up our own, or should we get one off your homework? What should we do? Thank you, Jackson. 18 over x minus 5 equals 8 over x. Try that one on your own.
remember how we did it when you want to.
Okay, I'll come in and check with you.
Wait, that's totally wrong. Actually.
Okay, so we're going to cross multiply, right? So we have 18x equals 8x minus 40. Who got today right? Does it matter which side's which? Can you have 8x minus 40 equals 18x? Yeah, nothing changes there. So then we subtract 8x. We get 10x equals negative 40, or x equals negative 4. Who got that one right? Okay. Okay, that's good. You didn't get it, Joe? Joe Schmo? All right, before we go to the harder stuff, I wanted to hit one of these real quick and then we'll go. What about if we had a negative here? So if we had 5 equals negative 4 over w minus 7. Yeah, I'll get it there. Hey, if there's a negative, well, let me ask you guys a question here. So this is honestly a similar kind of problem here, right? We can cross multiply this. What number's underneath this 5?
1.
A 1, and you can still cross multiply, right? Technically. Now there's a couple other ways you can solve this, but we have an issue here. And a lot of people get thrown sideways because of it. That negative right there. It can cause a lot of havoc. Unless you just know what to do with it. So there's a couple different ways you can deal with it. One, we could times w minus 7 to both sides. Right? So I'm going to show you a couple different ways we can do it. We could times w minus 7 to both sides. That's the first way, which then we have 5 w minus 7 equals negative 4. And you can solve it doing that. Or another way you can solve it, does anyone know another way we can deal with this?
Maybe put the negative on the 4 top and bottom.
Yeah, no, because if you add them on the top and the bottom, it'd make it a positive.
Can't you just cross multiply with?
That's what I'd
The
do.
4.
I would actually times both sides by negative 1 from the get-go, which would cancel there, and you'd be just 5 equals 4 over w minus 7. And you end up getting the exact same,
Wouldn't it be negative 5?
negative 5, that's what I meant. And then you end up getting the exact same solution by the end of it. Okay? I find this way is the easiest, right here. Just the negative, just leave it with the number that's still over here. Right? So when you times both sides by w minus 7, the negative just goes up here with the negative 4. Okay? That's the way I see is the best way to do it, and then you can just go through and you can solve that. All right, any questions on that?
Is there another way, like, you can do 5 times w minus 7, then you can do negative 4 times 1? Would that work?
If that's the exact same thing as that. 5 times w, negative 4 times 1 is the same thing, yeah. I think so. Okay. So, now this is the part that I'm really curious with. We're going to spend a little bit of time. And this is something new to you guys. So, this is for sure what I want written down inside your journal. These are when rational equations become a little bit tougher. So this problem right here, we can't, come on now. So this problem right here, we can't cross multiply. Someone tell me why we can't cross multiply these. Yeah, because there's 3 terms. It's not just a fraction equals a fraction, right? We have a fraction equals a fraction minus 4, so we can't cross multiply these. So in order to solve this, we first are going to simplify it by getting rid of the denominator. Now this is easy to get rid of the denominator. All right? This thing, what would be the common denominator of these?
2x.
It'd be 2x. Right? It'd be 2 times x. That would be the common denominator here. So the first thing you have to do is identify what the common denominator is. So step number 1, identify common denominator. Now in this case right here it's 2x, right? Our common denominator is going to be 2x. Step number 2, multiply I hate writing tops, but it multiply numerators by common denominator. And I'm writing really small right now, and I'm sorry. Multiply writing bigger. Multiply numerators by the common denominator. So what that's going to look like is 7 times 2x over 2 equals 3 times 2x over x minus 4 times 2x. So we're just multiplying all the numerators by the common denominator. The common denominator is the denominators, the common. So if they're different like this, just multiply them together, it just makes 2x. Okay?
So if the x was 4, the common denominator would be at 8.
If it was what? Say it again.
If x was 4, would the common denominator be 8?
If x was 4, it'd be 4 because 2 goes into 4. Right? But we're going to be having variables in our denominator all day today. So that's why we got to learn this method. Alright, so now we're to here. Now we're going to simplify this. Everyone with me? So step number 3, I'm just going to write simplify and solve. So after multiplying them, you get to here, 14x over 2 equals 6x over x minus 8x. Before we can start to solve this, I'm going to reduce the fractions, because we can. What does this reduce to?
7x.
Yeah, so that's going to reduce to 7x. What does this reduce to?
6.
Yeah, this is back to chapter 7, right? You're dividing exponents with the same base. So that's just, the x's cancel, so we're just left with 6 minus 8x. Can we solve that equation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can't solve it clear up here. But here you can. So we're going to add 8x to both sides. 15x equals 6. Divide by 15. X equals 2. This is your solution. Okay, questions on that? We're going to do another one here. So, buckle in. Could I?
At the very top,
Yep.
add 4 over and then make it 15 halves and then cross multiply.
On this type of problem, yeah, you could. If you did it like that, you could, and then you could cross multiply. So this is just teaching you for what's coming next. So this is that process to be able to teach that, but yes, you could do that. Okay? So let's do another one. 2 equals 4/3 minus 5 over x. Okay, what's our common denominator? 3x. Okay, so we're going to times all the tops by 3x. 2 times 3x, 6x, equals 3x times 4 is 12x over 3. 3x times 5 is negative 15x over x. So you just times in the denominator, the common denominator, by all the numerators. Does that make sense to everyone? Whatever's in the denominator stays in the denominator. And then we simplify. So we're going to have 6x equals 4x minus 15. Okay, because 12x divided by 3 is 4x. 15x over x is just negative 15. And then we just solve this. Everyone should be good with this point. 2x equals negative 15. Divide by 2, x equals negative 15 halves is your solution. Questions? Carter? Okay, I'm going to let you guys try one on your own. You guys ready? Yeah, are you ready? Okay. 2 equals 3/7 minus 6 over C. Go for it. Solve for C. Okay, what are we timesing the tops by? 7C. So this becomes 14C minus 21C over 7 equals what?
Oh, never mind. I just did it.
42C over C, right? So this is going to become 14C equals 3C minus 42. Is that right?
Yeah.
So do you just get 42 over 11?
Yeah.
Negative 42 over 11. And there's your solution. Okay, who got it right? Raise your hand. Okay, that's good because now we're going to get even harder. Here we go.
So I just cross multiply, and then I times the one number that wasn't a fraction
If that works, yeah.
by the. And then
You just got to know how to do it like this for this
Same
part.
skips a couple steps.
Okay, here we go. Carter. Okay, so we're going to get it a little bit harder here. Okay, so the process stays the same. Step number 1 is to get the common denominator. Now this right here is not 35u squared. Okay, it's close.
It's 35d squared.
It's not. Okay, it's not that. Because u just goes into u. Remember, your common denominator, you want it as simplified. You don't want to make it too elaborate.
it's 35u.
It's just 35u. Okay, so your common denominator in this case is just 35u. Even though 35u squared is a common denominator, I promise you, if you times all these by 35u squared, you dive into the world of math too. Okay, Britt,
What if they have different variables?
we'll get there. Okay? Actually, not this year, next year. I got ahead of myself. That's a math 2 thing too. Okay, so in this case right here, you multiply the whole numbers, 35. If they have the same variable, just keep it. So we're going to times all the numerators by 35u. Now, if you want to do this, 35 times 3 is at 105. 105u over 7u plus 70u over 5u equals 35u. Everyone with me? There's another way to do this too.
Just times it by 5 and by 7. Like,
No, because then you'd have to do something weird over here. And then you'd have to times this by 35.
no. Just like,
So you could do this by 5, this by 7, but this would have to be by 35 still.
yeah.
I think, yeah. But this is, anyways. Okay, our u's are going to cancel here. Our u's are going to cancel here. Does 7 go into
Yeah.
15 plus
14.
14 equals 35u. 29 equals 35u, or u equals 29 over 35. And there would be your solution. Yes. Okay, get that one written down. Okay, I'm going to let you guys try one of these on your own. And then if we can get majority of us to get it right, we'll go to our homework.
Why didn't you just cross out the U's?
Because it's back to chapter 7. If you're dividing variables, you're subtracting them, right? So 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything raised to the 0 is just 1. Okay. Good question, though. Here we go. I'm going to make it hard. Wow. 5 over 4x equals 1/12.
That's enough.
Good luck. I just want to see, hey, I'll help you out get to the common denominator, and then you're on your own. What is your common denominator? 12x. 3, 4, and 12. The number that all those go into is 12 with an x. So your common, yep, what? Remember, you're only times in the tops. Don't times the bottoms.
Just is, because 4x,
Think about what number does 4, 12, and 3 both go into. They both go into 12. They all go into 12. And then the variable just comes along with it because it's part of the denominator.
No, you don't do anything with them.
Just for fun, I'll show you one that's on this assignment, but I don't know why it's included in here, but it's a Math 2 thing. We'll go do it here in a minute. It's called a calculator. Gonna hit it. Okay. What are we timesing them all by? 12x. That becomes 60x over 4x. 12x over 12. What's 12 is 80. Jeez, that's nasty, right? Not really. 15 equals x. Are you kidding me? Minus what? This is the easiest one of the whole day. X equals 43. Who got it right? Okay, so that's it. But before I sign out your homework, I want to show you guys something.